Boom, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Nolan Hawkeye Anthony YouTube channel. And I thank all of you for being here, wherever you may be. And of course, however you may be listening. Great news today, huge news. The Iowa Hawkeyes received a commitment that they were after for a long time in tight end Zach Ortwerth. We are going to be diving into that. I'm going to be explaining to you what this means for the Iowa Hawkeye football class, where they're at with their 2023 class, Abdul Hodge, everything, the whole recruitment, my evaluation of Zach Ortwerth as a tight end, and much more. But before we get into any of that, I want to ask you guys to consider hitting that subscribe button. Help your boy out. We are so close to 1,000 subs. 30 away, I believe, at this point, at this time recording this video. I'm just grateful to have been on this journey thus far with you amazing Hawk fans. I think you guys truly are the best fans in the world, and we're not done yet. We are going to continue this and really move this forward, and I'm excited to see where it goes. But at the very least, like, comment, share. You know the drill. I'll put the PayPal and Cash App link in the description if you want to help your boy with his coffee habit. And without further ado, let's get into this. Right off the bat, folks, I want to say that I am excited about the last two classes of commitments at the tight end position for the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's guys who have a ton of upside, guys who the Iowa coaching staff likes. Like I said, ton of upside. They might not be the highest rated guys. I would say the highest rated tight end that Iowa has landed recently would probably be Luke Lachey. But Zach Ortwerth and Cale Vanderbush and Addison Ostranga are high 3-star guys with tons of upside. Very athletic guys who play multiple sports. And I like that. I think that that is great. I've said many times, countless times, that I love that the Iowa coaching staff does that. I think if you have kids who play sports, you should have them play multiple sports, not just one, as it rounds out the athlete. And to me, above all else, when I'm looking at this as an Iowa fan and a Big Ten fan and just a sports fan, I see somebody who likes to compete, who likes to get after it, regardless of the sport, and that's big time. On 3, recruiting has him ranked as an 88. Of course, that may raise as he has his senior season, and it probably will. I mean, listen, guys, that's how this works. Usually a guy who is rated as an 86 or an 87 as a junior will probably end up being an 88, 89, or even a 4-star by after his senior season. So it's totally possible that Zach Ortwerth bumps up in the rankings and is rated higher. He could also stay the same, but I would be surprised by that. He is the 27th ranked tight end, according to On3, and the 14th best player in the state of Missouri. Of course, Iowa also went after legacy recruit. Let me see if I can find him here. Mac Markway. And it looked like Iowa was in pretty good position to land him. Then he went to LSU, or went to a visit to LSU. He was even favored at one time to go to the Iowa Hawkeyes. I remember a crystal ball was put in favor of the Hawkeyes for Mac Markway. Then he goes on a visit to LSU and picks the Tigers. Okay, so be it. Nonetheless, Iowa also was going after Zach Ortwerth, who, as you guys can see here, is not rated much lower than Mac Markway, according to On3. They stayed after him. And this is a big deal. LeVar Woods has been recruiting the state of Missouri for a while now. And, to be totally honest here, Iowa has had mixed bag results in the state of Missouri. They are consistently high contenders, but they don't consistently get the guys that they're after in the state of Missouri. And it seems like a match made in heaven, as the states are very close to each other. Missouri is similar to Iowa in a lot of ways. It's close to home. But point is that Iowa hadn't seen their fruits pay off. And now they are. To me, it's always a big deal to land a high caliber player from a neighboring state. Indiana, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska. That's always a big deal. And that is what they did here. Let's check out who he had other offers from. The highest contenders for his services besides the Iowa Hawkeyes were Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Wisconsin, Nebraska. He visited Nebraska, and eventually, after the one visit, it seemed he was kind of high on them. And then he, came to his senses and decided Nebraska was not the place for him. Let's turn this over to 247 Sports here. New tight ends coach Abdul Hodge has his first commit as a member of the Iowa coaching staff in the tight ends room. And I agree. That is probably the biggest deal of this commitment. It's a big deal that this guy is from the state of Missouri, but to me, this shows that Abdul Hodge can close, that he can land tight ends. If you look back at the recruitment, Zach Ortwerth was actually being recruited by Brian Ferentz when Brian Ferentz was still the tight ends coach. And it would be totally reasonable that when they switched position coaches, Brian Ferentz as quarterback coach, and then Abdul Hodge as tight end coach, that Zach Ortwerth simply said, I'm going to focus on other schools. But Abdul Hodge had a strong enough presence and a strong enough pull for towards Zach Ortwerth that he continued to consider the Iowa Hawkeyes, and the relationship was built, and ultimately the Iowa Hawkeyes landed him. Folks, when you pay attention to recruiting, and I always advise don't pay attention to it too much, because you'll end up going crazy if you do. But if you do pay attention, follow the visits. Number one, that's what I did with Xavier Wampa. I was the first person way back when who said that I really thought that Iowa was in great position to land him because he had been to Iowa over and over and over, and he just consistently stayed going to Iowa. And so I thought that they were in really, really good shape to land the Hawkeyes, and turns out I was correct. I was saying that before all the national recruiters were. Point is not to brag about that, but to say that all I focused on was following the visits. The second thing is relationships, particularly with the position coach. That is probably the second biggest deciding factor for these recruits when they decide where to go to school. On Monday, St. Louis, Missouri University, great high school in the state of Missouri, three-star tight end Zach Ortwerth announced the commitment to the Iowa football program. Ortwerth picked the Hawkeyes over Wisconsin, Pittsburgh, and Minnesota, while over 10 plus other schools offered him. Ortwerth didn't have any offers following his junior season. Then schools started to pick up on him a bit, and then the other offers came rolling in. Iowa offered him a few weeks after his first visit to Iowa City and continued to make him a strong priority. Iowa offensive coordinator Brian Ferentz was tight ends coach when Ortwerth was first being recruited by the Hawks, but then Hodge took over when he was hired. I enjoyed talking with Coach Hodge and meeting him for the first time, Ortwerth said previously. He says he likes my mentality and how I would fit because I am able to make plays over the middle and in space. After the visit and talking with him, I feel like they want me and that they believe I will truly succeed there. Ortwerth is the first tight end commit for Iowa in this class. Per 247 Sports, Ortwerth is listed as the number 36 tight end in the class of 2023 nationally. Listen, folks, that's a great story. I don't know if Iowa's going to take a second tight end because they already have two tight end commits in or true freshman tight end commits, scholarship guys in Addison Ostrenga and Cale Vanderbush. Of course, the two guys that are slated to leave after this year would be Sam Laporta and Steven Stalianos. So, I guess they could take a second guy. I think that they should space it out. And if they're going to take two guys, they should do it in the next class. Now, if they see a guy that they just cannot not offer, that they cannot afford not to, and is too talented to do otherwise, then of course, you go ahead and offer the guy. But otherwise, I think it's totally reasonable that Iowa only takes one tight end in this class. Again, here's all his offers, folks. Connecticut, Illinois, Indiana, Louisville, Memphis, Minnesota, Nebby, Pitt, Purdue, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Kansas, and Notre Dame was considering him pretty highly there for a second as well. I'm going to pull up his highlights, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about this class, how close it is to being done, and just kind of wrap it up that way. Here is Zach's commitment photo there. And here, let's play the junior season. Folks, the class is just about done. Iowa is really in great shape. They've done a majority of their work before the season even starts, which is a big deal. I think that this class, because last year's class was a little bit smaller, this class is likely to be bigger. I would say this class will take probably anywhere between 22 and 25 guys. So Iowa's not done yet, but it's good that a majority of the job is done. So now Iowa can pay attention for the diamonds in the rough that blossom later and mature later in their final seasons of high school. So that's good. And also, you never know who Iowa will be able to flip. It's better to be in a position where your class is nearly full and trying to get a guy to flip rather than being behind the eight ball and trying to get a guy to flip, because then it's possible that you come off as needy and totally overkill for what you're trying to accomplish. Iowa is really in great position. This class is I would expect this class to be a top 25 class, folks. Caden Proctor, 5-star, totally headlining the class. I would say probably the second biggest commitment, and maybe even surprise commitment, would be 4-star running back Kendrick Raphael. But everybody else, Iowa has been in hard on and for a long time, and they have run the gambit with these recruits, which is kind of what Iowa does. That's their strategy. Their strategy is to not throw a bunch of money, not make a bunch of promises, but to really go at an even keel pace with all the recruits, stay with them steady, stay with them throughout the process. And by the end of it, the recruit feels very confident and comfortable with the coaching staff. And that's where they are at. I got to tell you guys, watching the highlights, I love Zach Ortwerth's athleticism. 6'5", 6'6" is big time. He really does move well. This route right here really does show how well he moves. He ran across the field there effortlessly. I think that the tight end room is in excellent shape. It really, really is. And I can't wait to see what this group is able to accomplish. So, folks, the class is almost done. Iowa you're seeing the dividends pay off from the 2022 football season. That's probably, and 2021. That's probably the biggest aspect here to point out, is just how much Iowa's success on the field is paving a way towards recruiting success. Don't forget, folks, Iowa was negatively in the news just a year ago, 2 years ago. Winning cured all. Iowa won football games. They made it to the Big Ten championship game. Not only are they recruiting phenomenally, but they continue to recruit well. They continue to do well on the field, and everything seems copacetic. Everything seems good. So, winning really does cure all, and you're seeing Iowa be able to recruit at a much higher level on a consistent basis due to winning. I just want to take one look at the inside the rankings here, so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. Caden Proctor is the highest point getter for recruiting. Trevor Locke is a big one. Also, same with Kendrick Raphael. And again, guys, you can really see the class taking form here. I think that's 15 commitments for the Hawkeyes. Let's see here. I want to see if Iowa has bumped up in the team rankings here. It may not have been updated. I'm just going to go ahead and click it and see if it has. But you guys can see where everybody is rated. Yeah, I don't think Iowa is. Anyways, they're 15th, and the average rating is the average star rating in their class is 3.27, which is excellent. I want to take a look at 2022. And as you guys can see here, there's some teams in front of them with lower average recruiting rankings. And the only reason why they're ahead of Iowa in the recruiting rankings is because they have more players committed. Let's look at 2022. Let's see what Iowa's average star rating, and we can use that as a gauge to see where Iowa is going to end up in the final recruiting rankings. So Iowa was 30th with a 3.22. So right now they have a 3.27, and they were 30th last year with a 3.22. So not only if they get about 20 recruits, but if they can keep their average star rating at a 3.25, this is definitely going to be a top 25 class. All right, folks, thank you guys so much for listening. Zach, if you watch this video and you want to come on the channel and get some exposure to Iowa fans immediately, my contact information is in the description. Feel free to reach out. I make that offer to all of the Iowa Hawkeyes that are committed. Folks, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Subscribing always makes you feel real good. It definitely makes you feel good to help a fellow Hawk out. We're so close to 1,000 subs. We're making big moves here. At the very least, like, comment, share. You know the drill there. I'll put the PayPal and Cash App link in the description if you want to help your boy with his coffee habit. And also be sure to join my Discord. The link is also in the description. And without further ado, DBAP, don't be a pussy willow. And facts are feelings, because your feelings don't matter. Love y'all. Go Hawks. Bye-bye.